Yo, what it do? It's your boy T Lee, and I'm back with another fire. No, this ain't no fire. This is a crazy video. Insanity Body Cam. We back with another episode. We already know Dr. Insanity Body Cam. Shouts out to them for this great, crazy content. Evil wife kills husband and pretends to be shocked. Now, we know about people like this. We done had a few husband killing the wife and acting shocked and stuff. It's a special place in hell, like I say, for people like this. You reap no fruits of your labor by taking somebody else's life. You know what I'm saying? You eventually get caught. You know what I'm saying? It's not even worth it. If it's that serious in a marriage, get a divorce, leave. It's never that serious. Let's go.
What do you want me to do? I don't know what to do.
Like, you gotta be you gotta be a sick person to kill somebody, then act like, especially like somebody like your husband, family member, then try to act like you shocked and everything, like you really care.
This is Ann Valgora. This morning, she woke up to find her husband dead.
She's saying when she woke up, the door was unlocked and there was an alarm around 4 a.m.
She appeared traumatized, or at least that's what she wanted the officers to believe.
Very smart thinking.
Dispatcher for 10 years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, she helped a lot of people through hard things.
And you worked in this type of field. And for them to really fall for that? But it's like, they don't know any better too. They really, they going off of, people words and stuff, and eventually it trickles down to what's the truth and what's not the truth. But
he shot himself and she hid the gun.
The officers initially assumed her husband had taken his own life, but the horrifying truth was something far more sinister.
Well, no matter what he was doing, that gun's not there. But there's no way he can kill himself if there's no gun.
He's got a knife on his boot.
Is he a cop?
I'm just going to tell you, we found that you were responsible for Steven's death.
All right, let's go. Insanity Body Cam. Shout out to y'all, man. Make sure y'all subscribe. Turn on that post
It's
notification
3
bell.
p.m. on June 18th, 2019, when officers are dispatched to the home of a
that's
frantic
before,
woman who's just made a
quarantine.
chilling discovery. Her husband was shot in the head and lying motionless on their bedroom floor. Within minutes, officers arrive at the gruesome
you telling me?
frantic
Hold
woman
on.
who's just made.
So did she work in the field of like being a dispatcher, or was her husband? We're gonna figure it out.
Chilling discovery. Her husband was shot in the head and lying motionless on their bedroom floor. Within minutes, officers arrive at the gruesome scene.
And that's actually a nice house. I'm like,
I don't know where the gun is because I want to try and keep everything as much as I can until the camera gets here. But I mean, like I said, I have no idea where the gun is. I'm guessing it's in that hand.
Yeah, I'm not gonna go moving anything.
I don't know how much you can check without, but I mean, we've got the discoloration, everything. So.
Do we know where the gun is?
Nope. I figured an investigator here already. We'll just grab it. He said that she said it's in here somewhere. I'm assuming it's.
Yeah.
I don't know. Oh yeah, he's discolored. He's everything.
At first glance, the officers didn't notice anything unusual beyond the obvious. A man dead from an apparent gunshot wound. There were no immediate signs of a struggle or forced entry, leading investigators to initially consider the possibility of a self-inflicted injury. But when they go to question his wife, that version of events begins to fall apart.
You last saw him about 2 a.m.?
About 1-ish. I went to bed. We were watching a movie and...
be right back. Hold on, y'all. Hold on. I'm gonna edit this out, y'all. I'm gonna edit this out. I got y'all. I got this. Alright, let's go.
I didn't hear anything through the night.
I didn't hear anything, but I take all my meds at night.
So all three of you slept in that room last night?
Yeah.
She's saying that all three of them slept in this room last night, which makes no sense.
Huh? So she woke up and what?
That you don't just walk by
You at
that.
least gotta have a story, right? Like, once stuff start not adding up, that's when you become the suspect. Once
To officers, something about the scene felt off. It seemed nearly impossible that the whole family slept undisturbed in the same bedroom while Stephen fired a gun just a few feet away. If Stephen truly shot himself, he somehow managed to do it without disturbing anyone. A scenario investigators found nearly impossible to believe. So with that suspicion lingering, officers continued examining the body, and what they discovered next would make the situation even stranger.
What do we have on tabletops? Anything interesting?
No, I didn't see, if there was,
Nothing on the nightstands or...
are you thinking like a note or something? Or?
Yeah, anything. Yeah. Or 511s.
Is it a holster?
Yeah, I'll bet you're right.
Okay.
Oh, you know what? Where's there a hole over his head? Oh.
Yep. That's what you're saying. There's the entrance.
So, yep. So then we've got a bullet somewhere. Or you mean a casing? If he was laying on the floor when you did it. If he's laying on his side like this, boom, and then it falls.
Flops over.
Yeah.
Can I remove the blanket? No. It's not there.
Lying square in a holster.
Well, and he's in 511s.
Huh?
He's in 511s.
tactical clothing.
Mm-hmm.
There's a shell casing.
Yep.
But I still don't see a gun. There's no gun, then it's not.
Something's not right.
No.
But there's no way he killed himself if there's no gun.
Whoa. This just got unexpected.
But he's got a knife boot. He's got a flashlight in his pocket. He's got a fucking holster on it, and he's wearing 511s. And it looks like maybe, gloves or something in his pocket. Is he a fucking cop?
Officers just made a critical discovery. The victim was 55-year-old Stephen Olson, a third-year officer with UNMC Public Safety and a United States Army veteran. This revelation immediately explained the tactical boots and police equipment scattered around the room. But despite this breakthrough, investigators were still missing a major detail. The gun was nowhere to be found.
Well, no matter what he was doing, that gun's not there. So even if he's laying sideways,
This is gonna shoot somewhere else.
We're ready.
he was laying. His head was positioned on the left, right? Or no?
Yeah.
Now I'm really glad I asked Brett Dash. I'm like, can we try not to move him too much?
It's better to stay out until crime lab still would make sense. The guy should be laying right there.
Should be right by one of the hands.
And so even if he's on his side and he falls over the shell casing, like the gun's got to be somewhere. Or
It's gotta be right by one of those.
for her to already being like, oh, the door was unlocked, we didn't hear anything.
Right.
You were in the.
The details are still not adding up for officers, and as additional investigators arrive, attention shifts back to Anne, whose account is becoming increasingly suspicious. So to move forward, detectives decide to press Anne further, hoping to uncover any crucial details she may be holding back.
I came out this morning and found the front door open and the screen door, and I always have them locked, and the alarm was not set, which he said he was going to run the dogs one more time and lock the doors up. And no, it was when I went to wake him up that, of course, turned on the light and went, oh crap, and drew the blanket over the top of it. Like, come on, you can't see that.
How was Stephen when you woke up? You said about 2:15.
Today, this afternoon.
That pillow on top of his head and Swiss cheesed him.
I didn't check him.
That's exactly what she did. She threw that pillow over the top of the head and Swiss cheesed him. What are you trying to say?
He was laying on, he was laying there. I kind of went out through the dark and let the dogs out. The room's pretty. It's got dark shades, so I just snuck out, let the dogs out, went to the bathroom, and Mom called once, so I called her back, and I'm like, look, I gotta get him up. I don't know what time he goes to work.
So he was laying on the floor in the dark when you woke up?
Yes.
You came out, placed a phone call to your mom?
Yes.
Anne's story is starting to raise serious doubts. She insists that when she first walked past Stephen, she didn't notice anything unusual, and it wasn't until she tried to wake him up that she realized he was unresponsive. But detectives noticed that Anne doesn't appear shaken or upset. In fact, she's unusually calm for someone who's just lost her husband. With these red flags mounting, investigators shift their questions to Stephen's background, looking for any evidence that might confirm or rule out the positive.
Watch who you lay down with. Watch who you marry. Person might be good 5 years into the relationship. 5 more in the relationship might be a nut. Might show you their true color. They might show it 10 years later and be like, yeah, this is what I really been wanting to do to you. You have to really watch who you lay down with, who you connect with and stuff. There's people out here that be out here with vendettas, like on some weird stuff. For real.
That his death was self-inflicted.
A lot of weird people out here.
Stephen, had he made any comments about self-harm or when he hurt himself?
No, we're just, like I said, we were trying to put things back together.
Tell me more about putting it back together.
We had separated just because he drank heavily. He just, he had slowed down quite a bit. And I said, look, if you're going to have a drink, I get it. You can't drink to intoxication every time.
How often do you drink?
Every day.
Every day. How much?
3 or 4 whiskey and cokes, and they were not on the weak side.
Did he ever threaten violence, anything like that?
No, not towards himself.
Were you guys ever involved in any sort of physical altercation?
No.
What about just fights in general?
We argued about about how much money he spent on alcohol, considering there's other things, but...
Cap. You're lying, lady.
I had been through a little trauma about that he thought that there was somebody walking through the house or had been in the house before, and that ties into the loony bit Bob was playing.
The loony bit?
The loony bit, yes. Last year they were telling me I was absolutely loony, that I was, and the bottom line was I have anxiety, acute anxiety disorder, I'm OCD.
Despite Anne sharing new details about her troubled relationship with Stephen, detectives weren't any closer to an answer. If anything, her story only created more confusion. Sure, their marriage had issues, and Stephen's drinking was clearly a problem according to Anne, but nothing she said directly implicated her in Stephen's death. And as far as detectives could tell, a self-inflicted injury was still very much on the table. However, there was one critical detail that could finally break this case wide open: the missing gun.
Break it open.
With that in mind, detectives decided to direct this question towards Anne, hoping she could clarify this crucial detail.
What to do?
Well, we're going to work through it a little bit at a time. When you found him today, was there a gun laying near him?
I didn't see it. I immediately looked over at my desk. I was like...
Would you have grabbed the gun and thrown it in a drawer so that he wouldn't see it?
No.
Okay.
I didn't even see the gun. I saw the head.
Right.
I was like, I threw the blanket over and over. I'm like, come on, buddy, we're going to come out of here.
And that was smart thinking.
Dispatcher for 10 years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, she helped a lot of people through hard things.
This poor lady ain't shit.
Just so you're
I said,
aware.
poor lady. This lady ain't shit. Poor lady.
I have no idea. I'm sorry.
Oh, no, you're fine. And
That's okay. Nobody knows.
If you have any questions that
Sorry.
My man over here trying to riz. Get your real freak body ass on somewhere. Get your real freaky ass. Grandpa over here trying to get his freak on. He trying to be next up.
I can't say I've been on the receiving end of this
My
one.
man trying to get chose immediately. Damn, can't even let the man
At this point,
die
police
for a whole
still weren't
24
sure
hours.
what to make
He
of Ann's
already trying
story.
to smash.
And with the gun nowhere to be found, they had no way of determining exactly what happened. So, hoping to uncover new details, investigators returned to the bedroom to examine Stephen's body more closely. And it didn't take long before they noticed something strange about his position.
You know, if he's sleeping and someone else shot him, that's a weird position for his arm to be in. If you do this, and then your body goes limp, I think that arm position would be more natural. I think she hid the gun somewhere.
And she shot me.
No, I think he shot himself, and she doesn't want.
No, my man right.
And she shot me.
Oh, I thought he said, I think she shot him.
No, I think he shot himself, and she doesn't want this to be so she hid the gun.
The more investigators
I think it would have been the same way if it was a black person. Let me know in the comments.
Stephen's body, the stranger the situation became. His positioning seemed odd for someone shot while asleep, leaving them genuinely uncertain about what really happened. However, by now, investigators had narrowed down their theories to three main possibilities. The first, and perhaps simplest explanation, was that Stephen had shot himself and Anne innocently moved the gun afterwards, perhaps hoping to protect his dignity. This scenario seemed plausible given Stephen's heavy drinking problems and the couple's deteriorating marriage. But there was also the possibility that Anne had darker motives altogether, intentionally killing Stephen for reasons detectives had yet to uncover. And finally was Anne's troubling claim that she woke up to find the front door unlocked and the home security alarm mysteriously disabled. This suggested someone else entirely had quietly entered the home and murdered Stephen without being detected. Perhaps someone holding a grudge against Stephen due to his line of work in law enforcement. With too many unanswered questions and the growing sense of uncertainty, investigators collected Anne's DNA and asked her to come down to the station for a formal interview, hoping the interrogation would finally reveal the dark truth behind Stephen's death. Anne is placed in an interrogation room with her sister and a pastor, a clever tactic by the officers. The presence of the pastor is meant to make Anne feel more at ease, hoping she'll open up about what really happened the night before.
It's like a little chilly in here. We might have done something because there was more of a breeze when I first came there. I think it's really warmer. You can imagine.
Well, that's when it be a little wet outside. It makes it a little chilly.
Yeah.
They're cooking
I
here.
think on the way over was saying, you know, I just didn't plan my day like this. We don't really plan our day like this.
Who plans a day like this?
Nobody.
Now that Anne is relaxed and talkative, the officers make their next move. They send in the detective to question her and uncover what she might be hiding.
So the first question we always ask is, did you have any part in the involvement of Stephen's death? Okay. Does he normally always carry a gun? Did he have a gun on him that was last night? Okay.
Because usually when he takes it off,
Yeah, she definitely did it. That little ass gun. Just her size.
in the radius of breach, and usually when he goes back
Where does he typically store the gun?
at night, usually, but I don't know if you're compared to being a holster. I've seen with it laying right next to his hand. I've seen all of it, and
She said, I've seen him on top of it. The gun? On top of a gun?
all of it.
She said, I've seen him even on top of it. Lady, what?
What do you think happened to the handgun?
I don't know. I have no idea from I fell asleep.
Even after the detective asked her directly about Stephen's death, Anne stuck to her story, insisting that she had no involvement and no idea where the missing gun could be. With no new leads coming from Anne herself, detectives paused the interview. At this point, they knew their next step had to be a thorough search of Anne's home. So, armed with a search warrant, investigators returned to the house, hoping that whatever Anne hasn't told them might still be hidden inside. And sure enough, it didn't take long before they found their biggest clue yet.
Yep.
This video.
She can't hide it up that high.
South Fillmore. We're gonna do a walkthrough from the southwest bedroom into the laundry room. See, 32 auto was found in this pantry dryer.
With the missing gun now finally discovered, detectives faced a crucial final question, determining who pulled the trigger. Fortunately, officers quickly uncovered another critical piece of evidence, a neighbor's Nest security camera. And after carefully reviewing the footage, investigators confirmed that nobody had entered or left the house during the night. This revelation directly contradicted Anne's earlier claims about waking up to an unlocked door and disabled alarm. Now detectives were convinced that Anne had deliberately misled them, so they brought her back to the interrogation room, this time ready to confront her directly with the truth.
So obviously we went out to the house and we did a search warrant. I definitely think we have a better idea or a better picture as far as what happened. I'm just going to tell you, we found that you were responsible for Stephen's death.
Exactly. Give it up.
Okay. I'd like an attorney.
Okay.
Exactly.
You want to stand up?
How could it? I'm just asking, in what way would I be responsible for it?
Well, we can't, you know, we can't have a further discussion with you if you invoked your right and you'd like to speak with an attorney. So, that stops our interview, Anne.
Okay. I'm sorry again, but if you're telling me.
After being arrested, Anne was taken to the Sarpy County Jail, where she was held on a $2 million bond. As her case progressed, prosecutors revealed new details that finally shed light on Anne's motive for murdering Stephen. It turned out that after Anne had left her job as a dispatcher, Stephen provided her with a monthly allowance. But when their marriage deteriorated, he stopped those payments, leaving Anne financially desperate. Prosecutors argued that Anne staged Stephen's death, hoping to collect on his life insurance policy, for which she was the beneficiary. But ultimately, no claim was ever filed and no money was ever paid out. Additionally, a detective testified that Anne's 10-year-old son told police he'd heard a muffled gunshot during the night and that his mother told him to go back to sleep. Initially charged with first-degree murder, Anne pleaded guilty in July 2022 to first-degree assault and tampering with evidence. And in October 2022, she was sentenced to 40 to 50 years in...
Boy, you might as well just give her life, bro. Y'all be doing this dumbass stuff. Hate when y'all do this, bro. She took somebody's life. You do life or death, you know? For real, like, let me know in the comments what y'all think about this, bro. Please, bro. I appreciate y'all for watching. Y'all already know. Subscribe. Turn on that post notification bell for more fire videos, bro. You already know. We're on a run to 100K subscribers. And I'm out.
What you gonna do now?